What's up, man? It's your boy Arvin, aka Superman, the Silverback, and I'm with my homegirl, Yeny, a new guest. Well, not really new. We've done a couple projects together before. She's I call her, to people that don't know her, I just call her the girl from the District Channel.
The girl. My name is Yeny, yes, and I am the radio host from the District Channel. And thank you again for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm excited for the topic today because it's something that I know both of us have been dying to talk about.
Awesome. You know, it's great to have you in the Silverback's cave, aka the Fortress of Solitude, aka my man cave.
Oh. But low key, I've been dying to come here because I always see it like on social media. I'm always like, dang, I want to see how it looks in real life, and then I'm finally here, so that's pretty cool.
That ain't all that way.
It's alright, yeah, it looks like.
It's alright. It's alright. It's what I can deal. It's what I can work with right now.
I like it though. Also, shout out to you because you have the District Channel sticker.
Of course, y'all gotta represent. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
All right, y'all. So today's topic is very interesting. It's called embracing your comeback. Why though? Why am I asking you to embrace your comeback? Why do I have to embrace my comeback? As you know, we have a comeback series. We've had our first episode, and Ricky, we had our first episode, and what happens?
Oh yeah.
We have our first episode of the comeback series, and something major has happened in our life. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we want to talk about embracing our comebacks. Why do we have to embrace our comebacks? Like, what is a comeback? You know what I'm saying? We was discussing how a comeback is it's not necessarily, you know, you coming back from something, but it could also be an object, it could also be a thing, a friendship, a relationship, a person. It could be anything. Like sometimes we have to come back from our past.
Yeah.
Sometimes our past doesn't stay the past. Sometimes we have to, you know, we actually have to come back from it because we stayed in there.
Yeah.
We are living our past, and it can become very dangerous. So a comeback is necessary. Every setback that you go through, you gave me a quote that somebody
Yeah,
gave
so I was recently at an event called Walk with Locals, and they encourage you to just talk to strangers there, right? Just say a simple hello. And that happened to me. I was talking to this guy named Omar, and we were just talking about life, and you know, we're getting to know each other. And he mentioned this quote that I've never heard about it, but you said that you had said something similar to it.
Yeah.
But when I heard it, I was like, dang. I was like, it just resonated with me so well, and I was like, I have to share this, like especially with those who I know are dealing with the same thing, or that I know embrace their comeback, and you're one of them, right? So when I saw you guys, it was actually after he told me that. He said every setback is a setup for a comeback, right? And you know, after that, you know, that's when I went to the hospital and I went to go see you and Glenda, and that's when you mentioned, hey, you know, I have actually said that before, and I was like, in a different wording, right? But when I heard it, I just said, that's so true. You know, you have to go through these setbacks, right? These failures in order for you to grow. Because if you didn't go through that, how would you learn from it, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that when I heard it, I said, dang, I'm like, so the only way I can embrace my comeback, right? The only way a comeback can happen is for me to fail. That I have to fail, and I have to also, I think you also have to embrace that failure, right? In a way, because if you didn't, it's just like, dang, like if I didn't go through what I went through, then I wouldn't be where I'm at now, and I wouldn't be challenging myself and getting out that comfort zone, right? I need to get out my comfort zone and make sure I'm challenged enough to finally go through that comeback.
Yeah. It's like, you know, you mentioned that you saw us at the hospital. My wife is in the hospital. We just made the first episode, and we talked about how my wife was, the doctor said she had cancer. Now it's a new thing. My baby girl's trying to come out soon. So she's in the high risk pregnancy department at the hospital, and she's gonna be there for a while. In the middle of the comeback that I'm trying to go through, this happens. Well, what the quote that I was talking about was every setback is a build-up for your comeback. And the reason I believe this, because look, when you do what we do, you know, you're also an entrepreneur. You also you like to build community, right? When we do what we do, a lot of people tend to hate on it. A lot of people tend to not believe in it and tell you to get real, to just get a job. Like, how are you going to make a living? Yeah, I say no, but I got that, you know. But a comeback, comeback isn't necessarily what people talk about you. You know, that's to me that's petty.
Yeah.
Like, if people are saying things about you, then okay, let them say whatever they want. That doesn't affect you. It shouldn't affect you. We live in a generation where you can't say things anymore because people get offended. But words don't hurt you. Words words just keep doing it. You know, keep doing what you're doing. Let them say whatever they want to say. But when it comes to a friendship, a person, a relationship, you know, somebody you care for. As you know, I don't have a team anymore. You know, and it's Ricky and I just handling things right now, right? You also had a team, and now you're by yourself. So let's talk about that. How do we overcome that? How do we come back from everybody handling one thing here, you handling one thing there, you handling one thing there, then everybody's gone, and now you have to handle and pick up what everybody else is handling. How do we come back from that? Tell me a little bit about your story.
Right. I also want to just, before I do that, I just want to let you guys know how we actually met, which I think was the perfect timing. It was sort of like I saw, you know, you said you saw yourself in me almost, right? Like, I was going through the same thing that you went through when you were at my age. And just the timing of, you know, I'm trying to do this radio show, I'm trying to do all this stuff, juggle all this at the same time, and you're also in that same state, and you're, you know, I was learning a lot from that. And so we met at a Starbucks, had some, you know, some coffee, and we just you and I and Glenda would just hit it off there, and from there we just became great friends, and that's my big bro now. So ever since then, I'm like, hey big bro, what's up, you know? So
I love you, girl.
Yeah. So the District
Shout out
Channel.
to Ricky for the coffee mug. I know you pointed out
Oh,
the
yeah.
coffee mug. He gave me this coffee mug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people will disagree with you on this, but
Ricky Rose. But yeah, so the District Channel started, you know, I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but I had a show called, before the District Channel, it was called Balance. It was BLNCE, and then a plus sign, right? And the plus sign was ambiguous and silent. But it was called Balance, and it really had no purpose. It was just me and my friend just really trying to, you know, try something new and have some fun with it and whatever, right? But something stirred in my heart, and it was like, no, but I feel like we could do something better, I've always been about community. I love community, I love people, and, you know, trying to see what we can do to be, you know, help for others, right, a benefit. You know, and radio is considered a dying art. It's considered a dying art, and I thank God that He's blessed me with this gift to be able to do radio, because not everyone has that, you know, and the people that I tell that I do radio now are like, dang, you do radio, that's so cool, that's awesome. And it's because not a lot of people are exposed to it anymore. You know? Yeah. So it started, you know, we did that show, it didn't really go anywhere. You know, I was talking to somebody at that moment, and I was telling them, man, I want to do more, you know, I want to have a purpose, and, you know, and it's funny because that person that I was telling, and all these people that were in that moment where I was setting this whole thing up, you know, or talking about it, are not even here now at this moment, you know? But they had to be there, right? One thing I learned is that they had to be there in order for me to build, right? In order for me to sort of plan it out and be like, okay, now they're gone, but there were those people in that moment that I needed to tell, or maybe they told me something that I learned, right? And so, and they did actually. Those people actually were the ones that offered suggestions, or that were like, oh, maybe you should do this and that. And from there, you know, my friend and I don't know if I should mention her name, but maybe not, just to keep it, you know. So my friend and I, we talked about it, and I was a communication major at the University of Maryland, and I came up with the district, right? Because I'm from DC, so, you know, I wanted to involve something like that. And, you know,
I'm also from
202.
Okay.
It's like, okay.
Alright, DC. What? New York is the hub,
It's
man.
my
Like,
second home, though.
not your
Shout out to New York.
yeah, shout out to New York.
Not your side though. I'd like to go to the city. Ain't nobody want to go to Rhode Island, nigga.
It's not even Rhode Island.
It's Long Island.
It's Long Island. Yeah,
Long
ha.
Island.
Check yourself,
Damn.
son.
But there is a Rhode Island in New York.
Ain't nobody trying to go to Northeast. So Say.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Oh.
Oh, you've been recording?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, born from DC, so I wanted to name the district, right, to honor that, like my hometown and where I was born. And then my friend was like, we were thinking of all these names I can connect to it, and she said, how about channel, the district channel? She's like, you're a communication major, and I was like, yo, that's it. It felt so natural. The name just felt like it fit right in, and I'm like, that's what it is. We don't have to question it. We don't have to be like, I don't know. It just felt right. And I think at that moment, and that's in life, right? When you feel like something, you hear something, you feel something, and it just feels right, then I think it's meant to be. It's meant to happen. So from there, I started designing like the logo, and I was like, man, how can I make it? I want it simple, just, I don't, something that can stand out, and also people can recognize it, right? And so that's where the logo came out, which the sticker's there. You can also put the picture of it if you want.
Put it right there in the bottom.
Yeah. And so that came up, and then Ricky's like, that's too much work. But yeah, so that's when that came out, and we started planning out more. We were like, hey, now we know. We learned from the first show, right? Because that show didn't really go anywhere. We didn't really do much with it. We're like, okay, now that we have a purpose, what is the district channel? We want to help promote and support local artists, local business, anything local in the DMV, and that was like our goal. And so we started hitting up all these artists. Like, we started going to cafes, to different people, just to be like, hey, do you want to come have an interview, or let's play their music. Originally, it was just going to be about music, actually. We were just going to play music, play like local, whatever. But then I just started like meeting new people, and like all these creatives, all these talented people in our area.
Yeah.
That I never.
Don't sleep on us, man.
Yeah, it's seriously, because people
Don't sleep on us.
people think you have to go to New York, to California, to all these other places to like
Got
where
people right here.
where like art and everything. But then that's the thing, right? If it wasn't for this show, I wouldn't have realized that, right?
Right.
Realized that there's these creative and talented people that are like good-hearted people that are trying to do good in the community. And that was another essence of the district channel, right? Community. And so when I started meeting these people, my friend was like, hey, I kind of think this is becoming more like a podcast than it is like like just music and local artists. And I'm like, well, maybe it had to become a podcast, because that's how we started getting our audience. Our audience started, they started noticing, like, oh wow, like they're, you resonate more with the people than a place and a thing. Their story is what really connects people, and that's what I honor. I honor people's story, and for people to come out, to our show, they would like actually open up and tell us their testimony and stuff like that. Like that meant a lot to me.
Right.
And but then we had a team. It was me and my friend. We didn't agree on a lot of stuff. It wasn't really going anywhere. So we talked about it, and we're like, dang, what could we do now? It was one of those things like, dang, like you have two people who are not on the same page, right? And I think I remember you saying this. You were like, it's like two people, like two parents trying to baby somebody, but they have different parenting styles, right?
Yeah.
And so like it was literally nothing, like our passion levels or our way of like trying to sort of caress this baby, right? Like take care of this baby was just not on the same level. And it wasn't really going anywhere. I felt more I didn't feel at peace about it. And that's something, I tell people, like, if you don't feel at peace about it, then there's something in your heart, like, what you're feeling, what do you do? You have to say something. And so, we talked it out, and at the end of the day, we decided that, I would just take lead on it, and she, supported that as well. We gave each other like options, 3 options. And this is when I said, I was like, hey, whether we can we'll both leave the district channel, and, I'll honor that. I'll honor that we both leave the district channel and not have to do anything with it, or you can keep it. You can keep it, and you can maybe, and I'm fine with that too. Or the other option would be that I can take over if you want, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. And
those are tough decisions.
it was and the thing is, it took me months to finally have the courage and the boldness to say that, because I love this girl so much. And I still do. She's one, my sister, one of my closest friends, and even though we're not as close as we were, I'm still like, dang, like, at that moment, it was hard. Remember, I would hit up Arvin, right, my big bro, and I'm like, yo, like, it's the same thing, and I don't know what to do. I feel like it's like you told me, you know what to do.
You knew what to do. The thing is, and like I told you, when you're in a position that we are, when we start something, it's our baby.
Yeah.
And this is something that God has given you. This is something that God has given you in your heart, and because it's your dream. So God has given it in your heart, and you have to cherish it. You have to take care of it, and you have to make decisions that you don't want to make. I was going through a similar process. While you were going through that, I was going through mine, where I had to make a decision and start cutting people. Why? Because we as leaders need to figure out what's best for our brand, for our company, for our dream, for our vision, anything. And once we start spotting a problem, and I've learned this from my pastor, if we spot a problem and we let that problem keep going, it becomes toxic, not just to you, but to everything. And instead of we think we're saving it because, no, I need her because she does this, I need them because she does this. Look, I had my right hand. My right hand helped me through so much. And like, I had to make the decision, because if you spot a problem and you don't fix it, my pastor always says this, that person isn't the problem anymore. It's you.
Oof.
Because you're letting that problem grow in your team. You're letting that problem grow and eventually become toxic in your team. And what you have to do as a leader, as a boss, is make the decisions that will cause people that you love with all your heart to hate you. But it's either you choose that or you choose to grow in your dream. And if you choose another person and you leave your dream behind, what does that say about you?
Yeah.
You can't choose somebody else over your dream. And that's a mistake that I did. A mistake that I committed, and that's another thing that I wanted to talk about, comebacks, is we learn from our setbacks, we learn from our failures.
Yeah.
When I tell people, when people ask me, how did you get to where you are right now? I tell them I failed. Time and time again.
Over and over.
I made mistakes. Time and time again. I didn't listen. Time and time again. Entrepreneurship it feels like entrepreneurship is like the it thing right now. Like, everybody wants, like, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Everybody has it on their profile and
like
stuff
coffee,
like that. How much money you made, man?
Early.
Like, dang, you're an entrepreneur. How much money you made, man? I haven't made any just
and that's
yet.
the mistake, right?
Like,
that's the mistake people do, right? When entrepreneurship is like,
they think that they're gonna make money right off the bat.
Yep.
And like, we have to, Ricky, we have to hustle for our income. We have to hustle. We gotta remember, we are starting from scratch.
Yeah.
See, you can't. That's why when I say do something that you love to do something that you're gonna wake up and know that you love doing it, even though you are eating garbage, even though you are not eating at all, even though you are battling to see if you want to go this way or that way because you don't have enough gas money. Like, it's just, these are the decisions that entrepreneurs have to make. Entrepreneur is a lifestyle where you have to, like, scratch and crawl to just to see a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? So that's why it's like, so when you have this major setback, when you finally build a team and you finally build all of this, but your one mistake was that in the beginning you saw that this problem or this person wasn't really putting in as much as you do. If you didn't cut that in the beginning, that's why you went through that setback. So that's what makes you learn. He's like, okay, the next person that comes along, if I allow a next person to come along, and I allow them in my dream, I'm going to be more careful. Failure equals learning. There is no failure. There's only learning.
Yeah.
The reason why we say failure is because that's the popular word to use. But there is no failure. There's only learning. Learn that you can't have somebody, fall in love with them, because of who they are, the type of person that they are. They seem like they're going to be there. Shoot, I started making plans for everybody on my team. I'm like, okay, when we open up a warehouse, when we open up Strength from Above Gym, I want you here, I want you running this, I want you running that. I was even telling Ricky, I was like, look, our offices are going to be like this, are going to be like that. I have a plan, bro. It's going to work. Everybody here is going to get a piece of the pie. But they're gone. So that plan went out the window. So what happens is you're like, okay, yeah, you're down for a little bit.
Yeah.
I still continue to hurt about that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lie. But sometimes God tells you, you know what? I gave you this vision. I didn't give it to them. I gave you this dream. I put that in your heart. I didn't give it to them. They saw that it was cool. They saw that it was something, the next big thing.
Yeah.
But once they saw the nitty gritty to it, the commitment, the trust that you have to have between each other, that's when you start seeing the real deal. That's when you start seeing how people are.
Yeah.
If they're willing to help you. Are they willing to put in the work? Are they willing to eat garbage with you? Are they willing to starve with you? Are they willing to risk with you? Are they willing to take risks? Not everybody will do that for you. So on what happened to me, I made all those mistakes. I thought these people were going to take risks with me. I thought they were going to dig and crawl with me and stuff like that, but it didn't happen. And losing everybody to me hit me hard. Hit me so hard that I had to start this comeback series. You saw me. You trained with me when I was bigger. I went to India and I came back.
Right.
And you saw how small I was.
Yeah.
There's a reason behind that. I tell everybody that it was India, but it was a heartbreak of losing my team. It was the stress, and just the pure. My heart was shattered because I felt like I lost everything. I felt like I lost the vision. Everything's gone. My whole team is gone. I saw my team as my kids, as my family. But when I saw all of this, and I saw how all of them it was so easy to just not reach back to me. I was like, wow, this hurts. And I spent months like that. So with all those, no training at the gym, not eating right, my disease eating me alive. I lost weight. My clothes started looking bigger on me. Wasn't taking care of myself. Blood pressure high. Stopped taking my medication until one day it hit me. I looked at myself in the mirror, and it's kind of crazy because you kind of start talking to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You kind of start talking to yourself. I said,
That's true.
I said, the only person that's with you is you. It's like, you cannot let simple letdowns from anybody, simple betrayals, simple lies, simple backstabs, you can't let that affect you. You have to get back up. And it's when it dawned to me. Because I even told Ricky, I was like, Ricky, you're the only one that hasn't left me. But I'm not going to let you leave me. Get out of here. You remember that, Ricky?
Yeah.
I was like, I let Ricky go. I said, don't worry about Strength from Above. We're not doing this anymore. I'm not going to give you the chance to leave me. I was so scared that the person that started this with me was going to leave.
I'm still here.
And he's still here. So I looked at myself that day in the mirror, and I said, there's no way there's no way that I'm gonna stay like this. I'm not walking backwards. Just because people left me doesn't mean that my vision isn't still alive. Just because people left me doesn't mean that I'm not Superman. It does not mean that I'm not the Silverback. I'm Superman, man. I'm the Silverback. I have to go down there and kill this gym. I have to go down there and pick up this iron and get bigger, get stronger, and get back to where I was, even better. Now I'm focusing on my health. I have a little bit more muscle, less fat. Like, everything is just working now. And then this happens. My wife is at the hospital. The first scare was my wife. You know, after my team left, my wife probably has cancer. You know, lost even more weight. Then, find out she doesn't. We prayed, we find out we doesn't. Now, she's in the hospital. Anybody that's going through what I'm going through right now will quit. But I'm here doing this podcast with you because people need to listen on how God is so amazing. People need to listen on how things like this, let God handle it. You keep doing what you have to do and let God handle it because God is always under control. You see this right here, what you're wearing, strength from above? That's the strength that we depend on. That's the strength that makes me Superman. That's the strength that makes me the Silverback. That's the strength that makes me wake up at 3:30 in the morning and go hit the gym. That's the strength that I depend on. That is the only strength that I depend on. I can't do this by myself. And I thought I was by myself when my whole team left me. But I'm not. I was surrounded by God. And my team needed to leave me for me to understand that. Because my whole dependence was on them. And that's where strength from above became dangerous. I have to remember that this was a vision that was given to me, that was implanted in my heart by God. Nobody else. So whoever comes and goes, what you and I do, whoever comes and goes, we gotta let them go. Fail and fail, but learn after each and every single failure. Learn. God gave you something. He's gonna make it happen. He's gonna make you happy. He's gonna guide you. This is guidance. Every time he guides you and you turn this way, he has to do something for you to come back this way. You know? So the person that took you that way, he has to take that person out and do something to make you go back this way. Because that's the way that he wants you to go. Whoever takes you somewhere different, they gotta go. And if it's only you with God throughout the whole process, then it's only you with God throughout the whole process. Shine, girl.
And that's what happened. Like after I lost, my friend and just everything, I was like, dang, it's kind of like, it is a clean slate, right? I have to start new. I have to figure out a way, like how I'm going to do this alone, and then, God is so good, I prayed and I asked others for prayers and just allowing God to just lead it, control it. I was like, God, I give it to you because you know what to do with it, right? And just, again, like having that hope in him and that dependence on him. And that way I don't have to worry. Why worry, right? The word says, give it all to him, right? And he will give you rest. And so I really live by that because I'm just like, I can't control anything else but my responses and my reactions. So when I have that setback, I know now that because I have God, I'm like, okay, it's going to work out. It's going to be fine. And I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to conquer this setback because that will become part of my comeback, And so after that, God started placing amazing people in my life. Placed you, placed Ricky, placed all people that I truly cherish because you guys helped me out so much. Like people, even photographers that come out and do portraits, and they're just like, yeah, we just want to be part of the experience, like help you out. I'm like, that's what community is about.
Yeah. That's
literally what community is about. And God just did that for me, and I'm truly grateful for it. And it's just been a great ride. But then now, like, I was telling Ricky, right, and you, when I thought everything was going well, right, I get the news, right, that all my interviews, everything I've done with the Disher channel have been deleted.
Even ours.
Even yours. Like,
I feel like ours was on purpose.
Everything. And, and it's crazy because, like, I feel like before, the old me would have been like, dang, all right, that's a sign that probably I ain't going to do it no more.
Yeah, that's a sign that you should probably stop.
That, maybe I shouldn't do it. Or, like, and honestly, that was, like, a heartbreak to me because I was like, Like my heart shattered when I heard that. When like I got that email, I literally stared at the email and was like,
yeah, I remember you telling me.
I was like, I was so speechless. I was like, so what do I was like, all the planning, all the time I took to you know, for the people, and even the people, right, the time they took to
You're
come.
about to say something right now. What? You said, what do I do?
Yeah.
Start over.
What do I exactly?
Start
so,
over.
I was like, dang, my bad. I was like, dang, that's a sign. I was like, this is an opportunity for me to start over.
Come
a
back.
Clean slate and come back with something. And so that's something, you know, I was like, dang, well, yeah, right. Like, what do I do? And that's what I'm gonna do.
Come back, right?
Come back. I'm gonna come back.
It's look. It sounds simple, but it's so much hard work.
It is.
When
I will say that.
When this happens to you, this is what we do.
Yeah.
We come back, and along the whole process, we embrace our comeback.
And
Why?
let me say this.
Like,
Sorry,
go
not to
ahead,
cut
go
you
ahead.
off. But when you embrace your comeback, right? When you're like, no, I have to come back. There's gonna be even more distractions, even more challenges, even everything. But that's what makes the beauty of your comeback. Like that's what makes the beauty just of the comeback like be on fire, right? Because now you're able to conquer all that because you're like, no, I'm not gonna let that same thing that happened to me or what I was going through happen again. I learned from that, so now I'm gonna have more strength, right? I have more dependence on God. Like every other time I go in a setback, I'm just saying, no, God, like I trust you and you alone. And I know that with that, I have everything. Mm-hmm. Just that hope in you, I have everything. So having that and just, sorry, you cutting? Oh, sorry. But yeah, just having that.
You thought Rio was just about to cut you off.
Yeah, having dependence on God, right? Like just, like knowing that, I'm just like, all right, cool. You know what? I got this. I'm not gonna let that person, place, or thing hold me back.
Amen.
And
Nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
Nothing but the truth. Embrace your comeback because nobody else is gonna embrace it for you. Everybody else is gonna tell you you're up to this stuff again. You're gonna do this again. Really? By yourself? Yes, by myself.
Yeah.
But not truly by myself. With me and with the person that gave it to me, and it's my Heavenly Father. So this is the faith. This is faith put to the test.
Yep.
So keep going. Whatever you start, you make sure that you finish it. If you fail, come back and embrace your comeback to the max because nobody else is gonna do it for you. So I'm here with my homegirl Jenny. Thank you.
No one else is singing?
You know what I'm saying? Superman is Silverback. This is SFA Unplugged series. We out.
Yeah. I own the business, I don't own the suit. They don't want the squeeze, but they want the juice.